Hello and welcome back to League 4. This is race 3 at the Kyoto Driving Park. So we can see Fatpickle Bro on pole, followed by Craig Maximus. So this is a new driver that didn't take part in the first 2 rounds, but is here today. So let's see how he gets on. We're going to move through the field so we can see the front, and let's see how it goes. So Fatpickle Bro with the Lexus on pole, followed by Craig in the NSX and SimFX Tricky in the McLaren. If we go back a bit, we've also got Dixon. Wow, doing a good start there. Round down the inside of Craig Maximus. Wow, that Renault really launched. That's a new car to the league at this point. And he goes all the way up into second. Craig Maximus down to third. So a big battle down here. SimFX Tricky, big loser out there. It looks like Slow Seamus in the Slugmobile, aka the Citroen. I call it Slugmobile because it's really low and flat. Up to fourth. Down got James Harbin also in the Citroen up to sixth, with Blackie in that interesting, shall we say, Alpha 4C with Ailhead on the inside. He's looking for the move. It looks like Ailhead's got that move done. Then a bit further back we've got Dragon Eagle trying to make up on these three. It's going to be entertaining going into the hairpin. And then just behind there is a spinner. It's Brethmin. Brethmin again into trouble. What we'll do, we'll have a quick replay and catch up with what happened there. So on board down in 13th, Just Wilkie just ahead, Azeroth down the inside. He's got on the wide route. He's got on the grass, nudged the wall and gone round. Another issue on first lap for Brethman. He had good pace in the first race, so it'll be nice to see him just keep his nose clean on the first lap and see if we can get some results in race 4. Back at the front here, we've got Pickle Pro going defensive on Dixon as we go down into the heavy hairpin. Oh, Dixon losing the rear end. Remember, this Megane is rear-wheel drive, not front-wheel drive like its GT4 counterpart. Just behind, Craig Maximus retakes third from Slow Seamus, I think. Or he might have already been there anyway. If so, let me know in the comments below. Nice train as we go up the hill we go. Ailhead taking up sixth, with Blackie just behind. He needs to make hay in the corners at Alpha 4C. This track is a lot of long, persistent corners. So, will suit the Alpha 4C, but will the tyre wear? 9th, we've got Steve Stones. Dion in 10th. Just Wilkie lost out on the GTR there, round the outside and goes straight into wall there. It looks like the 55.8 slowed down, so maybe he was the one responsible for turfing him out on the outside there, but it looks like he's handed the position back. Yeah, and then Azeroth in the SLS did really well in race 2. It looks like the SLS is definitely the weaker of his 2 cars. And 15th, Brethmint catching up from behind. Back to the front we go. Look at that. That was a brilliant view as they all funnel through the hairpin before this very fast chicane. It looks like Craigus Maximus and SimFX Tricky looking fairly racing. Can they break away from Slow Seamus? Can Slow Seamus keep James Harbin behind him? We don't know. There's Craigus Maximus going wide out the chicane. It looks like one place earned there by SimFX Tricky. Into the final corner. Can anybody hold on to Fat Pickle Bro? It's going to be interesting to see if Dixon, as I say, new driver, he looks like he's weaving to try and break the slipstream. So, after lap 1, Fat Pickle Bro leads. Dixon second, SimFX Tricky third, Craigus Maximus fourth, Slow Seamus fifth, looking down the inside, nothing doing there. James Harbin in sixth, Ailhead seventh, Blackie eighth in the 4C, and Steve Stones in the Feather up to ninth. Dixon, Dragon Eagle 10th in the F-Type. He needs to make up some spaces. Had a good race too. And Crazy Admiral all the way from the back up to 11th, picking off those who have caused their own issues. 12th, 55.8, now trying to make up after that issue on first lap. And then we've got Just Wilkie in the Gold GTR in 13th. 14th, Azeroth, and 15th, Brethmint on his recovery drive. Looking back through the field, it looks like the Alpha 4C looking racy into the hairpin. Goes down the inside of Ailhead, completely misses his braking point though. And I think he's actually dropped places there. Yes, drops all the way down to 9th or 10th there. Can he hold on to 9th? On the power, Crazy Admiral's going to have the power in that NSX up the hill though. Yeah, he drops all the way to the 10th. So went for 1 spot, lost, 3. Back at the very sharp end, we've got Dixon looking really racy in that Megane. It's interesting to see a new car in there. It's going to be interesting to see what he takes in the race 2 as well. So Martini liveried, holding a nice tight line there. Can he go around the outside of Fat Picklebro? No, not quite. So we know from previous that the Megane is a good grip car, just lacking a little bit in straight line speed. Looks like he's going to have to back off. He's definitely looking racy in the slower stuff over Fat Picklebro. Third is still occupied by SimFX Tricky, but Craigus Maximus is looking rather ominous in the rear view mirrors of that, in that NSX even. Looking at the McLaren, it looks like he's going to the outside. SimFX goes defensive. Can he get better exit? Doesn't quite look like he can get the move done. Slow Seamus still holding off James Harben, and it looks like Ailhead's now broke free of the pack behind and looking fairly racy against James Harben. Ailhead had quite a disappointing round 2 race, so it's interesting to see him trying to be a bit more racier in this round. Oh, and there we go. There's a move for position there. Dragon Eagle looking down the inside of Crazy Admiral, or is that Dragon Eagle trying to hold off Crazy Admiral? Steve Stone's just ahead, and the recovering Blackie in the 4C just behind. We'll follow this battle down into the turn 1, see if anything's going to be happening. Can he pull out the slipstream? He does pull out the slipstream, tries to get on the brakes later. It's such a long car, and it looks like Dragon Eagle's managed to stay clear of him. Up the hill they go. Looks like now Dragon Eagle's actually looking at Steve Stones. That F-Type is good in a straight line. NSX looks down the inside. This is single file, lads, up this hill, up through those fast left rights. But it looks like Dragon Eagle's managed to get the pass done on Steve Stones to go late onto the brakes. Steve Stones has to give him the space and takes the position. So up to 8th. Is anything going to happen coming down? It looks like in the background there, Crazy Admiral actually losing out to Blackie. Steve Stone's looking racy though, goes to the inside, Dragon Eagle on the grass, side by side they go, into the hairpin. Remember, this is going to switch back. And he gets the move done, back up to 8th for Steve Stones. There's a little bit of contact there. Is the F-Type going to be able to hang it out round the outside? He's going to hang in there, look at that understeer. Oh, he managed to stay in it though. So, up the hill they go, battle of the horsepowers. Looks like he's got a little time penalty for running so wide there. But up the hill they go into this fast, long left-hand corner. A little bit of brake, try and get it in. Blackie looking all over the back of these guys. Just saying, come on guys, why don't you make a mistake? And I'm going to take advantage of that. And that's 3 wide. 3 wide now. We're going to go on board. Look at that. Steve Stones, it looks like Blackie's backed out there. Yeah, he's just behind, making it 2 wide. Steve Stones down the inside. He's going to have the line. Oh, Crazy Admiral's got into Dion there. Oh, what a shame. What a shame. They're having some great battles there. Dion just stays still while he's ghost, just so he doesn't interfere with anybody else's race there. I think Crazy Admiral was at fault there, but look at that. That, my friends, is sportsmanship. Yes, he's ruined Dragon Eagle's race, but at least he said, look, my bad. I'll hold my hands up for that. That was my mistake. Have my position back. I know it's going to be a lot lower than we was fighting for, but it was my mistake. But after that move, it looks like Steve Stones has still got Blackie behind, although Blackie is holding a really nice tight line there. Wow, that's a very good line there. Getting the power down the hill. Can he use gravity to help that teeny weeny 4C? Does all the way around the outside. Good move there by Blackie into the fast chicane near the end of the lap. Very good move. And if we go forward, it looks like there's been some shake-ups for position. So it looks like James Harben has got past Slow Seamus, and Dixon has lost out and gone down to 4th. So I'm going to have to cut to a replay, a double replay, and find out what happened to those guys. Right, so this goes actually back quite a way. So Dixon here is sitting in 2nd, coming into the hairpin at the very end, and has a 2-second slowdown penalty. So it looks like he had some sort of issue, cut a corner, and that's dropped him right down into 6th. So 2nd to 6th, holding really good pace there, but a really good big cut penalty there. And then it looks like, as you can see, James Harben is still behind Slow Seamus at this point. So let's see how he gets the move done. We'll follow this down into the first corner. Nothing much happening there as Ailhead looks down the inside of Dixon. These two are both in the same car, so they should have similar sort of power, so the slipstream may be very beneficial as we go up the hill. Looks like up ahead, SimFX Tricky is still ahead of Craigus Maximus, but they're very close. Looks like Dixon's looking challengingly at the back of that. Oh, is James Harben going to go for it? Ginsters power. Not quite. Wow, look at that. Dixon comes down the inside of both of them. What a move. Takes both of them and up to fourth. And it looks like James Harben got slow Seamus on the exit. Although he's alongside now. What's going to be happening? On the brakes they go into the hairpin. And slow Seamus has to concede that corner there. And then James Harben manages to take it back off him. So Dixon doing a double move there. Really, really good move there. So on to lap 4, we'll do a quick rundown of the standings, how they stand right now. Fat Pickle Bro first in the Mac Tools Lexus, and looks like he's trying to pull out a nice little gap and buffer for himself. Second, SimFX Tricky, still ahead of Craigus Maximus and trying to hold him off there, making him go around the outside. Look at this, Dixon. Dixon's come all the way back into this. He's had some stupendous laps and actually takes advantage of Craig Maximus not being able to get the move done and gets himself up to third. Craig Maximus down to fourth and going a little bit wide there. We'll catch up with this battle in a minute once we go through the rest of the field. Fifth, James Harben now on his own. Can he catch up to that battle up there? Because that's going to be for the bottom of the podium, bottom 2 spaces of the podium, but that's still a podium. Can he catch up? It's a long race. We're only in lap 4. Sixth, Alehead now managed to also get past Slow Seamus. So Slow Seamus starting to trickle back down through the grid. Had a really good start, but now maybe struggling with a little bit of pace. And there we have Slow Seamus down to 7th. 8th, Blackie in the Alpha 4C, trying to make his way up, trying to make benefit of the corners where he can. This is definitely a track that will suit his 4C for the majority of the track. 9th, Steve Stones, having quite a lonely race there in the Budweiser Ferrari, but still doing well. 10th, 55.8, recovering after issues on first lap, but it looks like he's got through and past Just Wilkie and on his way back up trying to catch the rest of the pack. 11th, Just Wilkie in the Gold GTR, still looking fantastic there. Love a GTR, but he just needs to pull his finger out a little bit more, find a bit more pace there. 12th, Azeroth, still taking up near the rear of the grid. It looks like he's also passed Dragon Eagle, which of course Dragon Eagle had that spin out earlier. It looks like he's starting to catch Azeroth. Can he pick him off? Dragon Eagle, as we say, in 13th in the Jaguar F-Type. 14th, Breath Mint after that issue. It's got a lot of making up, but it looks like slowly but surely he's trying to make that time up. And 15th, Crazy Admiral, dropping all the way down to 15th. So having some sort of issue there. And he's gone wide again there. He seems to have good pace, Crazy Admiral, but maybe a little bit erratic. So we join the battle again for second and third. I told you we'll come back to it. So into this long left-hander. Wow, look at the grip and pace advantage of Dixon through the corners. He's really putting the pressure on SimFX there. It looks like he's actually got his nose ahead. We're on board here with Craigus Maximus. He's going to have a nice slipstream from these two cars down here. Onto the brakes. Wow, that's late. That's really late. He's actually bumped into Dixon there and actually spun out himself. Oh, he's going to lose a lot of time there. There's James Harben. James Harben is now all over the back, and he's probably lost 2 or 3 seconds there. James Harben just can't get quite past him. So James was hoping to catch up the battle for second, third and fourth. And it looks like the battle for fourth has come to him. It looks like Craigus Maximus just holding off James at this point. And it's some good racing here, really good racing. There's some fantastic racing in the first 2 races as well. So this is a proper ding-dong battle here for the second and third steps in the podium. It'd be interesting if Dixon didn't have his issues, could he have kept up with Fat Pickle Bro just ahead? Did he have the pace here? So it looks like SimFX Tricky's now got himself into kind of comfortable zone where he knows how to hold off Dixon behind, but Dixon's looking all over. You can see the straight line speed of the McLaren up over the hill, really helping there. But it's through these corners. Look at that! Dixon just closes right back up. But it's harder to pass through a corner. If you've got straight line speed, you can cruise past somebody losing a slipstream. But if you're faster in the corners, they're holding you up. Everywhere you're fast, they're slow. Unless you can get past them, you're just hemorrhaging your lap time. Look at that, he's looking so racy. He's keeping it respectful and not seeing any kind of contact or anything like that. So it's been a really good respectful race for the second and third positions here. Up the hill they go. Can he attack into this long left? We know The Meg's going to be good into this. Look at that. He only needs a dab of brakes. Nothing much doing. It looks like he was trying to go for the cut back. Wow, he can really get on the power. Look at that. That is just pure grip. Looks like he's got up to second, but he's on the outside for the hairpin now. SimFX squeezes him towards the wall and manages to complete the move back up into second. So Fat Pickle Bro probably looking at the scoreboard going, come on lads, keep on fighting, I'll just cruise off ahead of you guys. Further back we've got the battle for 7th, Slow Seamus versus Blackie. So Blackie now starting to make his way through. Maybe the Alpha 4C is better on tyre wear than some of the cars ahead. Through the long corner, this will suit him and that McGann as we've just seen. Look at that, just can hold a tighter line all the way through. So he's now alongside, but on the outside coming down to the hairpin. Slow Seamus will probably push him towards the wall. Onto the brakes they both go, alongside they are. Can he go round the outside? Can he go round the outside? Can he go round the outside? Oh yes, good move there Blackie. So that was just persistence. It was just like, I'm going round the outside of you here and there's nothing you can do about it. Yeah, really good pass. Thoroughly impressed. 5 stars. Back at the front, at the sharp end, these two are still going at it. Can Dixon do a Blackie and go around the outside in the final hairpin? Can he do it? No. SimFX Tricky holds him off. So, guys, look, there's 2 of you here, and you're fighting really fantastically, but you're taking away airtime from the other guys. Literally, this battle I have to keep on coming back to, and we're not even halfway through the race. SimFX holds the inside, but he's just going to start bleeding out. Bleeding out, like sliding out. Looks like he's just holding off the Martini Meg. Up the hill we go. Dixon just needs to stay in the slipstream. I get that McLaren to pull him all the way up the hills. I do fear if he gets past though, it's probably going to be a sitting duck in a straight line. Up over the hill we go, and you can just see that McLaren power pulling away from the McGann. McGann's going nice and wide. Can he come back? Look at how much he closes up through that corner. This is literally like chalk and cheese. These cars look like they could probably do exactly the same lap time, but they produce their lap time in completely different ways. Down into the hairpin. Again, SimFX, as I say, looks like he's got fairly comfortable in where he needs to place the car to hold off Dixon. Dixon loses rear end and just about catches it. And it looks like Craigus Maximus starting to catch this battle up here. That's what he wants these two to continue on fighting. Because everywhere Dixon is fast, SimFX isn't so fast. Everywhere that Dixon is slow, SimFX is fast. This is a cracking battle. Can he attack into this long corner again? Nothing much doing it, or is he going to get it on the exit? I wonder how tyre wear is getting on in these cars. I could put up the overlay and find out, but I just feel that's cheating a bit. Into the hairpin they go, and it looks like SimFX is deep, very deep. Dixon's down the inside, he's smuggled himself, but he's got to get up that hill now. And look at that, the McLaren's just got the pace, go up the hill. I bet Dixon's just like, just give me 10 extra horsepower, that's all I'm asking for, just a measly 10 bhp. And there you go, SimFX manages to hold him off yet again, almost losing the rear end. And we can see in the background, look at that, that's Craigus Maximus in the Honda NSX coming to join the party. He's like, hey boys, what's going on here? Am I invited? Sounded proper brummy there. And back at the other end of the field, got the battle for 14th and 15th. And it looks like Crazy Admiral's just about to pick off Azeroth. Azeroth seems to be struggling in the SLS. Maybe the SLS isn't the most competitive car. And it looks like Crazy Admiral's got the move done. Is Azeroth going to come back into the hairpin? No, just outbrakes him there, and Crazy Admiral takes 14th away from him. Back at the front of the field, Fat Pickle Bro still holding a nice, generous lead there. Comes out the final corner in his Mac Tools, and it looks like he's heading for the pits. So that's his first pit stop. Let's see what the guys do behind. So SimFX goes for the pits as well, and look at that. That was, yeah, Dixon, literally last minute change. So I think he was going to do the opposite of whatever SimFX did. And it looks like he takes provisional lead, but look at that. Fat Pickle Bro comes back out in second by a couple of car lengths. So he's almost got a pit stop in hand over the next nearest competitor. Craigus Maximus down to third, and SimFX comes out in fourth. So it's going to be interesting. Can can Dixon just get the job done on this outlap, or SimFX with fresher tyres going to get the job done and extend his gap over the Meg? Does the Med have good enough tyre wear to just go for a 0 stop maybe? Blackie 5th, Slow Seamus 6th, James Harben 7th, though that looks like a pit stop for James Harben there. Alehead 8th, looks like also a pit stop for Alehead. 55.8, it looks like he's passed Steve Stone, so that looks like a swap for position. So what we'll do, we'll check to a replay and see how that happened. So we join the action coming up into the final corner. Steve Stone's currently holding 9th. 88, goes on the dive, gets the move done. So good move there. Right, what can Steve Stones do to reply? It's going to be right in the slipstream of that Lexus. Do either of them pit? No, neither pit. So they don't need any fresh tyres at this point. Nice slipstream from Steve Stones. Can he pop out into the first corner? He looks like he's racy. Down the inside, nicely alongside, gets a move done. So it looks like he lost it. Oh no, he's going too deep, and that's a switchback for 55.8, and that's how the move was done. So really good racing there, nice clean racing. The 88 gave him 55.8 gave him racing room, and then managed to get him on the cutback. So this is a lap here. So Dixon, where is he going to come out? Is he going to pit on this lap? It looks like Fat Pickle Bro kind of needs to get past him because he wants to use his fresher tyres. If I was Dixon, I'd let him go and let him just slipstream you along. Looks like he's conceded the place there, but look how fast that McGann is through the long corners. This is definitely going to be a track that suits it. I think if we have any power circuits, avoid this McGann. Looks like Fat Pickle Bro's going defensive. Dixon, you just need to use him as a slipstream to catch up where you're a little bit slower, because look at that, Craigus Maximus is still closing in on you on the back here, and SimFX is out there on fresh tyres. And I suppose Fat Pickle Bro wants to get through and try and use those fresh tyres, but he has got such a healthy gap. I don't think it's going to make much difference. He can probably decide to just back it off 1/10 and just make sure he doesn't plunge it into a wall or anything like that. Up over the top, looks like Craigus Maximus is looking nice and racy at this point, trying to make up for that bump that he had, and he kind of stalled out almost in the hairpin. SimFX must be right pedal to the metal right here. This is where my race is going to be won or lost for second place at least. Blackie down to 5th, well up to 5th, Slow Seamus 6th. James Harben up to 7th, so I believe he got past Slow Seamus not long ago and pitted, so he's making hay on those softer tyres, newer tyres shall we say. Alehead 8th, 55.8 9th. Steve Stones 10th, dropping back. Just Wilkie 11th, Dragon Eagle 12th, Breathwitz 13th, Crazy Admiral bringing up the rear 14th with Azeroth just behind him. So back to the front. Dixon, is he going to pit? Looks like, I reckon Craigus Maximus is really catching him, you know. Let's see, is he going to carry on? And he is, he's carrying on. Craigus Maximus, he is going to pit. So it's going to be interesting to see where he comes out. SimFX is already pitted, we know. I want to see Blackie's also staying out. There goes, Steve Stones is in. Right, James Harben, where is he going to come out compared to the early pitters? Looks like Craigus Maximus is still ahead of James Harben, so he carries on, holds on there. So Blackie not pitted yet. SimFX, look at the gap now though to SimFX to James Harben. So that's a big gap. Dixon's still carrying on though, so is he going for a 0 stop race? If he's going for a 0 stop race, that McGann is going to be doing well on its tyres, that's for sure. At the moment, the battle to watch is this one down here. Craigus Maximus on fresh tyres, really starting to apply the pressure to the Alpha 4C of Blackie just ahead. You can see him working hard there in the cockpit of his NSX. Looks to the inside. This is going to be where the 4C is strong though. Around those corners. Looks like he gets a move done. So, is that a signal now for Blackie to pit? Is he going to take the fresh tyres and try and then work his way back through the grid with nice fresh tyres near the end of the race? There's a yellow flag ahead. Shall we see what that is? Looks like SimFX is actually caught up to Dixon there. So unless Dixon's going to do a no-stop race, this strategy has not worked out for him. Looks like he is, but look at that. With a fresher tyre, SimFX has managed to pit and come back and managed to recoup the deficit of pitting within 3 laps. So it definitely looks like the better strategy was to do the pit stop. Maybe if he had his time back again, Dixon would have. Azeroth going for the move there down the inside of Crazy Admiral. Crazy Admiral out on the marbles there at the start, but he doesn't quite get the move done. Can he use a slipstream? This is a battle for the rear end of the grid at this point. Looks like that SLS really struggles in a straight line, not quite getting the oomph out of the corner, although we know the NSX is pretty strong in a straight line. Also mid-engine, so it does have some decent cornering ability as well. So on lap 9, let's do a rundown of how everybody stands after some pit stops. So Fat Pickle Bro on 1 pit stop, still out in the lead. He can probably cruise to the end at this point. Second, SimFX on a new set of tyres. Look at that, there is no Dixon behind him, so he's really pulled through there. That definitely was the better option to do the pit stop. Third, Dixon really starting to struggle now. His lap times have dropped off quite considerably. It's now under pressure from Craigus Maximus. So was fighting for the lead, now potentially going to not even get on the podium. Craigus Maximus up to 4th, pitted, so he's now going to look pretty racy against Dixon. 5th, Blackie, also not pitted, I believe. I didn't see Blackie pitted. If you did, let me know in the comments below if you did pit, because it looks like you're starting to catch up Dixon as well. 6th, definitely did a pit. That's James Harben in the Ginsters Citroen, now starting to catch up the guys just ahead. 7th, Alehead, looked promising near the start. It seems to have faded a little bit. Maybe he's just trying to get in his consistent groove there. Slow Seamus dropped back a bit from the start, but still in 8th in the gold, well, bronze, yeah, should we say bronze Citroen. 9th, Steve Stones, and recovering. I believe he didn't pit. Is he going to pit now? But the guy behind, 55.8, did pit, and it looks like with those fresher tyres, he's looking pretty racy on Steve Stones and really starting to catch up. 11th, Just Wilkie, definitely did pit, and it looks like he's also starting to catch Steve Stones. Steve Stones could be in the point where he just starts, the tyres fall off the cliff and people rile up his chuff. 12th, Breathmint on his recovery drive, managed to get past Dragon Eagle, who takes up 13th in the F-type. Poor drive for Dragon Eagle here, took pole in the race 1 and doesn't seem to have found that form here. 14th, Crazy Admiral, managed to get past Azeroth, as we saw earlier, and Azeroth 15th in the SLS, sponsored by Smirnoff. We'll cut back here and we can see Dixon holding on for dear life against Craigus Maximus here. He is on really old tyres. Maybe at this point he might be best to just let's throw it in the pits and put on some soft tyres, because look at that, he's even losing out in the cornering sphere. That's where the Megane was really champion, and loses out 3rd to Craigus Maximus, so he's now dropped off the podium, which was a surprise given how his start went. Is he going to do a late splash and tyre change? No fuel usage in this championship, but be interesting to see if he does. So we're going to join this battle a little bit further down the grid, 9th and 10th as you can see, but Steve Stones stayed out while 55.8 did pit, so he got fresher tyres there in the Lexus, but these two are pretty much knocking door panels off each other. Not in a bad way, I don't mean the crashing and bashing, but they're literally going at it hammer and tong, a bit like SimFX and Dixon were earlier in the near the start of the race. So Steve Stones, wow, drifter from 55.8 there at the back. That's definitely not going to help him try and make a move on Steve Stones. In fact, look at that nice big gap opening up, but we'll have to keep on checking back on this fight because it's been a cracking one so far. There's also a cracking little battle back here for 11th, 12th and 13th. So we've got Just Wilkie in the GTR. We're getting near to the end of the race, so he might be starting to struggle with a bit of tyre wear. Dragon Eagle in the F-Type just taking up behind, and Breathmint on his recovery drive coming back through the field, or at least attempting to. So down into the hairpin we go. Looks like Dragon Eagle's looking down the inside. It looks like he gets a move done. Nice and clear. Just Wilkie, can he come back on the cutback? Come on, GTR power. Twin turbo V6. Doesn't look like it can quite do it. Is tyre wear really starting to affect Just Wilkie at this point? Is he going to be a victim for Breathmint up next? Up the hill we go. Can Breathmint get in that slipstream with that GTR? Use that potentially that mid-engined prowess of the NSX and try and get the move done. round the long corner. It looks like just Wilkie just not got quite the pace that he needs there, and he's starting to slip back. GTR looks like it's struggling a little bit to hold on to the coattails. Dragon Eagle could really do with staying on his coattails there, just for the slipstream, for the extra performance there. As it looks like Breath Mint goes way too deep into that hairpin there and has actually lost some time. So it looks like the 30-minute warning has gone. Well, final section has lapsed. So that's Fat Pickle Bro actually onto an extra lap. So he's managed to go on to an extra lap. We've got SimFX Tricky in second. He also manages another lap. Got Craigus Maximus. Looks like he also manages another lap. And Dixon does also manage another lap. Now, Blackie, can he stay on that lap with them? It looks like he slams on the brakes to try and not do the extra lap. James Harben does get through. I don't know what's happening here. Alehead and Slow Seamus, really close finish there. Doesn't look like they have. No, it looks like James Harben did slow down in time and hold on to 6th. Steve Stones holds off the 55.8 for 9th and 10th. 11th, Dragon Eagle holding 11th. Well, look at this. GTR versus NSX. Down the start, finish straight. We're on board. Look at that, Breath Mint. Breath Mint manages to nick 12th right from the end. Let's do a quick cut to a quick replay and see how that happened. So we're going to follow on board with Breath Mint here. This is a prime reason why you should never give up. Just Wilkie, it looks like he's struggling with tyre wear near the end of the stint. Breath Mint is on him, going into the final corner, final lap. Just Wilkie looks to the inside. Breath Mint goes around the outside. Is he going to do a Blackie and go all the way around the outside? Just Wilkie gives him the space. Look at that. Breath Mint's got the power. Avoid the pit wall. Looks like that's how he got the job done. Very good move around the outside and claims 12th. 13th for Just Wilkie. 14th goes to Crazy Admiral in the NSX, coming home to take the tracker flag, with Azeroth 15th in the SLS, struggling still there in the SLS. Let's just check how if there's any movers and shakers near the front of the field, because of course they got an extra lap. Yeah, Fat Pickle Bro still holding up first. He just needs to cruise to the end. SFX Tricky still going around the top of the circuit there in second, with Craigus Maximus in third. And Dixon did manage to get onto a fourth, another lap, so he's holding fourth. And Blackie looks like he also got onto another lap, but he was the only person other than nobody behind him managed to get onto a lap. So that's his 5th place secure. He just needs to get to the end of the lap. So we see Fat Pickle Bro here taking the win. Across the line he goes, completes his race with SimFX Tricky coming home to take second. Well deserved there. I think these four could have had a really good battle with Dixon. Third, Craigus Maximus, great result, manages to snatch a podium away from Dixon. And Dixon there, I think maybe thrown away a podium. I think he had the option to be on the podium, maybe if he had it pitted. 5th is Blackie. He's going to be the last person on the lead lap, and he'll take 5th. So, if you enjoyed this roundup of League 4s, I'd very much appreciate a like. If you really enjoyed it and want to see more, a subscribe will be even better. If you want to dislike it, that's cool with me, perfectly fine. Just let me know how I can do it better in the future. And until the next time, goodbye.